Hi, I am Vijay Rathod. I live at Kafred. It is about 2 to 3 kilometers away from here, and I have been in this study center from last 5 years. And I am prepared myself for my 10th standard in this study center, and I got 92.2. It is more accessible and it is near to the bus stop. It is just 5 minutes away from the bus stop, and it is open, and it also has a charging point, and some libraries don't have that.
As far as the study center is concerned, it was the idea of my mother, who was seen in the slums of Bombay, where people would not have even place to sit down, let alone to study, and where there was no proper lighting, and if there was electricity, in the nights they could not use the electricity because the rest of the family is sleeping in a 10 by 10 room or a 10 by 10 outhouse. And so she came up with this idea of having 24-hour study centers throughout the city of Bombay. And the study centers were used by all the children in the slums. If you come at any time of the day and night, from the time it was inaugurated till now, there are about 30 to 40 children studying there, because that's the maximum capacity that it can hold.
आज मैं इस स्टडी सेंटर के बारे में यह बताना चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पे हम सभी लोग के पढ़ने के लिए और खाली ओनली स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मतलब बनाया गया है। तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल है, क्योंकि हमारे घर पे कुछ हमें प्रॉब्लम होने की वजह से हम लोग मतलब बाहर साइड में आके इस लाइब्रेरी में पढ़ते हैं। और यहाँ पे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट आते हैं, जैसे कॉलेज के हो गए, कोई ग्रेजुएशन कोई सरकारी नौकरी की तैयारी कर रहा है, तो ऐसे ऐसे लोग यहाँ पे आके पढ़ते हैं, कोई सीए फाइनेंशियल कर रहे हैं, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट यहाँ पे आके पढ़ाई करते हैं। तो ये स्टडी सेंटर हमारे लिए और बाकी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल है। और मैं स्टडी सेंटर के बारे में ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि मैं यहाँ से 2 किलोमीटर यहाँ पे पढ़ने के लिए आता हूँ, क्योंकि हमारे इधर पे कोई ऐसा स्टडी सेंटर नहीं है जहाँ पे हम बैठ के पढ़ सके घर के पास में। बहुत लोग स्टूडेंट ऐसे होते हैं जो दूर दूर से पढ़ने यहाँ पे आते हैं। तो ऐसे मतलब स्टूडेंट को गवर्नमेंट से मैं मतलब बोलना चाहता हूँ कि गवर्नमेंट ये लोग के लिए भी कुछ ना हो, लोग कि घर के पास में 2-3 किलोमीटर के रेंज में भी एक स्टडी सेंटर ऐसा उपलब्ध कराए।
One of the main things which I have learned here is that people from all the streams come together here. They interact with each other. Whatever I have become in my life is because of this place only. Why this place is important for me at now also? Because it gives me an important positive vibe. Like youngsters who come here, I get to interact with them also.
It gives perspective in different careers, like someone is doing CA, someone is doing UPSC, someone is doing MPSC. So they guide us and they give advice that you can do this, you can choose this path which lead you to this path. So that's how some other people in this library helps us for in our choosing our career. I do think that places like this should be more and must be isolated. There is one problem here, the sound of traffic and the vehicles is one problem, and I believe that there should be other libraries like this.
During the lockdown, the study center was closed like every other place in Bombay, and just when it started getting eased out and things started opening a little and exams started coming close, we had a call from one of the students who requested us to ensure that it is opened, because they really didn't have any other place to study. And that was not just a student from Colaba, but it was a student who came all the way from Virar. Then I spoke to the concerned authorities, the BNC, to find out whether we could do that. They said yes, we could do that. We opened it and we told the students to maintain distance when they're sitting there, because we had to maintain that social distancing, and I told them all that they have to wear masks. So any problem, we are always accessible, we are always available, and we are always around here. We keep checking out that everything is smooth there. including sometimes we have an electric problem, lights go off, we have to replace the lights, sometimes fans stop working. So we are always there to ensure that things are done and taken care of. We had a lot of problems when we came up with this idea. First of all, people just pushed it away, saying that how can you do this? It'll be like encroaching into a garden. That's when my mother said that there's no question of encroaching because we will be keeping it open. And it is basically for the poor children. And if we cannot educate our youth, if we cannot give them a decent education or we can't give them a place to sit and study, then what are we doing with ourselves? What are we doing for our area? So she said, I want to do something for the future generation. That generations together, the poorer strata have a place to come and study, and I'm sure it will be well used. So she had to push a lot of people to ensure, in the BMC, to ensure that the permissions are granted. Then when everything was granted, we had a writ petition filed against us. And at that time, Mummy was made a party also, saying that she is trying to, there are no poor children in Colaba. So there's no question of having a study center. And why do you need a study center? Everybody has huge houses. The children will study there. That time the judge, I still remember, I was in court. I, of course, appeared for my mother. I remember the judge telling the petitioners, saying, here is a politician who wants to do something for the poor and do something good. And you all are trying to stop her. You should in fact come forward and help her in doing it. And he dismissed the petition.
One of my friends who stays in Malad, he also comes here because in Mumbai, we all know there is a space problem. We don't have that much space. And for instance, how many libraries do we have in South Bombay? So it was one of the biggest achievement of the past corporator who conceived this idea to build the study center. This place has created many people from here. Many better careers have been developed from here. So my aim is that this place should be continuously be under someone's supervision. So that could be done by anyone. Even if it is not under the BMC, any person who has conceived this. We come from a place where our parents who have been trying to educate us. So what we require is basic facilities. Like if you say that we have food, shelter and home. So that was the basic necessity. But now in 21st century, what we require is like, even if you are living in metropolitan area, what we require is education. And education and whatever house which have the size of house is not enough. Because suppose if we, particularly the people who come from here, mainly from slum areas only. Because people who don't have houses, they only come here. So the major problems is of space at home. The better, like even at home if you study, you don't get in that environment. So in Mumbai specifically, if you see libraries का main problem तो economic, अगर आप ये free paid library है, यहाँ पे ये 24/7 access है यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ पे किसी की restrictions नहीं है. सेकेंड प्रॉब्लम है इकोनॉमिकली, अगर आप देखने जाओगे स्टूडेंट्स अर्न नहीं करते स्टार्टिंग में, वो फिलहाल अपनी एजुकेशन पे फोकस कर रहे हैं. तो उस बेसिस के लिए उनको ये लाइब्रेरी ज़्यादा एक्सेसिबल है. और इट इज़ माई ड्रीम दैट every ward should consist this type of library. Every corporator, every person of the legislative assembly should conceive this idea. There couldn't be a better way to utilize the funds which they get from the Maharashtra government to utilize this in it, because this could be help in the betterment of the future generations. So this could be an investment on the part of the person who is conceiving this idea.
All the local representatives, elected representatives, can certainly take inspiration from this. But for that, they must have a sense of social justice.
मेरा नाम निशाद कदम है. मैं यहाँ पे पढ़ाई के लिए आता हूँ. ग्रुप स्टडीज़ एंड ऑल करता हूँ मैं यहाँ पे. अभी 10th के प्रिपरेशन चालू है और एग्ज़ाम भी चालू है। एक्चुअली मैं 10th में हूँ। यहाँ पे मतलब बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट्स है, जगह में बहुत शांत रहता है। अभी तो फ़िलहाल मुझे एक ही मालूम है, लेकिन ऐसे और हो गए तो बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट आएंगे बच्चों में।
मेरा नाम रौनक रमेश सविनकर है। मैं 9th स्टैंडर्ड से आता था इधर पढ़ाई करने के लिए दोस्तों के साथ। हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी 10वीं का बोर्ड भी इधर आया और मैं इधर ही पास में ही रहता हूँ, वर्ली नाका प्रेम नगर में। और इधर अच्छा लगता है जब पढ़ाई करने के लिए हम लोग आते हैं। तो 10वीं का भी बोर्ड इधर ही किया, 12वीं का भी बोर्ड इधर किया। अब मैं लास्ट ईयर में हूँ, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड टेलीकम्युनिकेशन डिप्लोमा विद्या अलंकार कॉलेज में पढ़ता हूँ। हेल्पफुल दोस्तों के साथ हम लोग रहते थे, या किसी को कुछ नहीं आता तो ये डाउट सॉल्व करता था, वो डाउट ये सॉल्व करता था। बहुत अच्छा है ये सराउंडिंग के लिए, इधर पढ़ाई करने के लिए। इधर शांति रहती है, ज़्यादा कोई ये नहीं रहता है किलबिलाट। यहाँ एक सुविधा रहनी चाहिए बुक्स या बैग रखने के लिए। अलग अलग स्कूल या कॉलेज से आते हैं लड़के लोग, तो वो एक्सपीरियंस मिल जाता है वो लड़के लोग से। हम लोग को कभी कभी कुछ समझ में नहीं आता तो हम लोग को गाइडेंस के लिए हम लोग इधर आते देखने के लिए 12 के बाद क्या करना है या 10 के बाद क्या करना है। हम लोग इधर ही आते देखने के लिए। और ग्रुप जब है तो अच्छा है, ग्रुप से हम लोग सब देखते हैं क्या करना है आगे क्या नहीं। और फिर इसको आके कितना 5-6 महीना हो गया है और सबको गाइड पता चलता है क्या मतलब क्या करना है क्या नहीं आगे आगे जाके।
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.